This is not advice. This is a mental reset. You're not here to feel good. You're here to wake up. You've been waiting for a sign. This is it. Every scar, every loss, every time life hit you in the mouth, it wasn't the end. It was the preparation. You've been training without knowing, watching, enduring, getting stronger in silence. And now you're here, still breathing, still standing. That means something. That means you're not finished. But listen closely. From this point on, there's no more room for softness, no more space for hesitation. This is not a game. This is war. And war is won by the man who decides he's already victorious. That's what this mindset is. That's what unbreakable means. Not lucky, not perfect, unbreakable. Life didn't bend you. It sharpened you. You've been acting like things are happening to you. They're happening for you. The world isn't against you. It's shaping you. But you gotta act like it. Act like everything always works out. Because when you do that, your decisions change. Your posture changes. Your energy changes. You stop begging and start building. You stop waiting and start walking. You stop surviving and start commanding. You don't flinch. You don't wait. You don't ask. You move. Mike Tyson didn't become a champion by asking for permission. He trained like a dog and walked like a king. That's the shift. From victim to weapon. From doubter to dominator. From hesitation to execution. This mindset isn't just belief. It's identity. You are not here to react. You are here to take control. There's no backup plan. There's no exit. Just forward. Just fight. And even when it breaks you, it builds you. Even when you're bleeding, you're rising. Even when it looks like loss, act like it's already handled. Act like it's already won. Because if you do, you'll start living like it. You'll start showing up like it. And soon, the world will have no choice but to follow your lead. I train in silence. I move with purpose. I act like it's already mine. I think like it's already done. You want to win. You say you want to change. You say you're tired of being average. But do you think that happens with soft thoughts and comfortable habits? No. Change doesn't come with motivation. It comes with war. Inner war. Every morning. Every hour. Every decision. And the only way to win that war is with fight mentality. That's what made Mike Tyson a beast. Not the punches, not the speed. It was his mind. That mind was trained like a weapon, unforgiving, focused, ruthless, not with others, with himself. That's what you're missing. Discipline isn't about pushing yourself once. It's about refusing to quit every time your body screams to stop. It's about looking your excuses in the face and swinging harder. No breaks, no mercy. You think fighters are born? No, fighters are built. Through pain, through cold mornings and long nights, through showing up when nobody's watching, through choosing pain over pleasure, silence over noise, focus over distraction. When Tyson was 13, he was already a killer in the ring. Why? Because he lived in his own hell and made it a gym. Every step, every breath, every meal, every hour was part of the mission. He didn't train for the camera. He didn't train for applause. He trained because he had to. Because if he didn't, he'd drown. He turned pain into pressure. He turned fear into fire. That's fight mentality. And if you want to rise, really rise, you need to install that mindset. Not borrow it, not try it, install it. This is not a temporary effort. This is full commitment. You either think like a predator or you think like prey. There's no in between. You wake up tired? Good. That means it's time to sharpen the blade. You feel doubt creeping in? Perfect. Now you fight. Now you destroy it with movement. You keep swinging, you keep walking, you keep executing, because if you stop, you lose. And losing isn't about failing. Losing is about quitting. And quitting is not in your blood anymore. You think Tyson cared about opinions, about fear, about failure? No. He stared down the world and dared it to stop him. Not because he was confident, because he was certain. Certainty is born from work. Real work, lonely work, when no one believes in you, when even you don't believe in you, but you show up anyway. You put your shoes on, you show up, you put in the reps, and you train until doubt has no oxygen left to breathe. You don't need more time, you don't need more approval, you don't need more chances. You need to activate the dog inside, the fighter. The mindset that says, I will not stop until I win or I die trying. That's not dramatic. That's discipline. You've been acting like you're preparing, like you're almost ready. But the truth is, you're either executing or you're making excuses. That's it. Excuses sound smart. Execution is smart. Real fighters don't wait for perfect conditions. They fight with broken hands. They swing with swollen eyes. They get up even when the body screams no. And every time they get up, they kill a little more of that weakness inside. This is your moment to flip the switch, to stop being casual with your potential. You are not average. You are not here to blend in. You are here to take the hits, eat the dirt, bleed your doubts into the floor and rise like you were built for this. Because you were. Your blood remembers. Your soul remembers. You just forgot. But now you know. This is the mindset that creates monsters in the gym and killers in the arena. You're not here to survive. You're here to dominate. You're not here to hope. You're here to hunt. You're not here to question. You're here to conquer. Repeat it until your mind obeys. Repeat it until it becomes who you are. You don't flinch. You don't freeze. You fight. I think like a weapon. I move like a storm. I destroy excuses. I train like it's all I have. There's a war going on. Not outside, inside. And most people lose it before they ever swing a fist. They lose it in silence, in hesitation, in comfort. You want to know what really breaks a man? It's not the enemy out there. It's the voice in here. The weak one, the soft one. The one that says, it's fine. You've done enough. Take a break. That voice is a liar. And until you learn to shut it down, you'll keep living below your potential. Mike Tyson didn't just fight men in the ring. He fought himself every morning, every night. That war was brutal. That war was quiet. And it never stopped. Because inside every man there are two versions, the beast and the coward. The one who moves forward and the one who hides. The one who executes and the one who hesitates. One must die. There is no peace treaty. You can't balance both. One must take control. And the one you feed the most is the one that lives. You want strength? Kill the coward. Starve him. Every time you get up early when your body begs for sleep, you starve him. Every time you train without applause, you starve him. Every time you keep going when no one is watching, when no one believes in you, when even your own mind whispers, stop, and you don't, that's when the beast grows. That's when the coward starts to fade. But make no mistake, he'll come back. He always does. Doubt, fear, laziness, comfort. They return, like parasites, waiting, hoping you slip. And if you're not ready, if your discipline is soft, they'll win. Again. That's why the war never ends. That's why warriors never relax. The fight is every day, every thought, every decision. There is no weekend from greatness. Mike Tyson knew that. That's why he trained like a criminal running from death. That's why he lived in isolation. Why he cut himself off from distraction, from praise, from validation. Because he knew the most dangerous opponent was always in the mirror. Not the one with gloves, the one with excuses, the one with fear in his eyes. He knew if he could kill that version of himself, no one else could touch him. That's real power. That's real freedom. You've been too polite with your demons, too gentle with your weakness. You keep negotiating with your bad habits. You keep petting the same fear that's been choking your progress for years. It ends now. You want a new life? Then someone has to die. That old version of you, the one that made excuses, the one that waited for motivation, the one that begged for permission, kill him. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now. Because he's the one stealing your future. He's the reason you keep falling. You don't need more time. You need more truth. And the truth is, you're losing the war inside because you haven't declared it yet. You haven't looked in the mirror and said, "This version of me is over. I'm done protecting weakness. You're not soft. You're just undisciplined, and that can change. You're not broken, you're just distracted. And that ends today. You're not lost. You've just been listening to the wrong voice. But now you know. There's another voice. The one that roars. The one that commands. The one that leads. Feed that voice. Feed it with action. Feed it with effort. Feed it with silence, with focus, with sweat. And starve the rest. You are the battlefield. And every decision you make is a bullet. Fire wisely. Move with purpose. Walk like a man who's already been through hell and came back stronger. You don't ask for strength. You take it. You don't beg for power. You become it. You don't run from the war within. You win it. I don't hesitate. I don't negotiate. I rise in silence. I execute without mercy. You think greatness happens in the spotlight? No. Greatness is born in silence, in isolation, in the places no one claps, no one calls, no one cares. Mike Tyson didn't become the most feared fighter on earth by being surrounded by praise. He became a machine because he was willing to suffer in silence, to train alone, to disappear while others chased attention. That's the secret nobody wants to hear. The beast is built in the dark. Most people are addicted to noise, to validation, to being seen. But when you need eyes on you to do the work, you're weak, you're exposed. Because the day they stop watching, you stop performing. That's not power, that's slavery. Real power is this, doing the work even when no one's watching, especially then. Because the real transformation, the identity shift, that doesn't happen on stage. It happens when it's just you and the grind, you and the sweat, you and the voice that says, "Stop." And you say, "Not today." Isolation is not punishment, it's preparation. It's the place where you build armor, where you learn to hear your thoughts and still choose discipline, where you get so intimate with the pain that it stops scaring you, where you push without praise, where you train without applause, where you suffer without sympathy. That's how champions are made, in the quiet, in the repetition, in the decision to keep going, even when the world forgets you. Mike lived like that. Wake up, train, eat, train again, sleep. No parties, no posts, no noise, just war, internal war. His house became a fortress. His routine became a weapon. And the silence? It became his ally. Because in silence, you start to hear the truth about who you are, about what you fear, about what needs to go. The truth doesn't yell, it whispers. And only the disciplined hear it. You've been too available, too open, letting the world in, letting distractions in, checking your phone. Like it holds your purpose. It doesn't. Lock the door, shut the noise, cut the access. You don't need more connection. You need more construction. Build. Build yourself in silence. Build yourself in discomfort. Build yourself until the noise outside can't shake the silence inside. The world will try to convince you that you're missing out. That isolation is loneliness. That silence is failure. That you need their attention to matter. But you don't. You only need one thing: consistency. Relentless, unbreakable, day after day execution. When you choose isolation, you stop performing and start becoming. You don't train for them. You train for you. You don't wake up for applause. You wake up for war. That's what changes a man. That's what changes everything. You want to stand out? Then sit down with yourself. You want to rise? Then first you have to be willing to vanish, to be forgotten, to be doubted, to be invisible, and still show up. Because when the world forgets you and you keep moving, that's when you become unforgettable. You think Tyson feared loneliness? No. He loved it. Because in solitude, you meet the beast. You meet the part of you that doesn't need noise, that doesn't need praise, that doesn't need comfort. The Sao version of you that can train with no music, no friends, no spotlight, just focus, just silence, just fight. That's the version that wins. You're not supposed to feel good all the time. You're supposed to grow. You're not supposed to be seen right now. You're supposed to build in the shadows. You're not falling behind. You're forging ahead in silence. So, disappear, train, lock in, starve the distractions, kill the need for validation, and trust the process. Because when you emerge, they won't recognize you. And they'll say it was sudden. They'll say it was lucky. But you'll know it was built in silence, forged in fire. And no one can take that from you. I disappear to rebuild. I suffer. In silence. I don't need applause. I need progress. Everyone talks about success. Few talk about collapse. Fewer still survive it. But real greatness? It's not measured by how high you rise. It's measured by how deep you fall and still come back harder. Mike Tyson knows this. The world saw the champion, the monster, the unstoppable force. But behind all that was a man who fell. Hard, publicly, brutally, and still stood back up. That's the comeback code. It's not clean. It's not pretty. It's not motivational posters and feel-good quotes. It's rage. It's regret. It's crawling through shame with your teeth clenched and your fists bleeding. It's owning every scar and still walking forward. It's facing the wreckage you created and refusing to let it define you. It's choosing to fight when the world already wrote your obituary. Tyson lost it all. The belt, the money, the respect, the control. He hit rock bottom, not once, but again and again. He made mistakes, big ones. The kind that echo in headlines and courtroom records. And every time, the media circled like vultures. Every time, the world said, he's done. And every time, he came back. Why? Because you can't kill a man who's already rebuilt himself from ashes. Because he knew pain. He respected pain. He used pain. And when most people run from it, real fighters listen to it. That's the difference. Most people avoid pain. Champions use it. You've failed. Good. You've been humiliated. Even better. That means you've been handed the raw material of transformation. That means life has cracked you open and now you get to rebuild with precision. Failure is the price of greatness. But only if you stay in the fight. Only if you refuse to accept defeat. Because defeat isn't final unless you quit. You don't get to win clean. You get to win after you've lost. After they count you out. After you've been broken, bent, abandoned, forgotten. And that's when you rise. Not like a motivational speaker, like a problem. Like a man they can't stop because now you've seen the worst and you didn't die. You survived it. You absorbed it. You stood back up while they watched in silence. That's what creates fear, not perfection, resilience. The comeback starts in silence, in the mirror, in the decision to stop hiding and start building again. Not because people believe in you, because you believe in you. You don't wait to feel ready. You act as if it's already working out. You don't need signs. You need movement. One more rep, one more step, one more hour when it's cold, and the doubt creeps in. That's when you push. And as you rise, something changes. Your identity hardens. You stop being the victim of the story and become the author, the fighter, the one who writes his own return. And when people ask, "How did you do it?" they'll never understand. Because they didn't see the nights you sat alone with regret and didn't quit. They didn't see the mornings you trained with tears in your eyes and a storm in your chest. But you know. You remember. Mike Tyson could have stayed down. He could have disappeared. But he chose pain over pity, discipline over distraction. He didn't come back to please the world. He came back to rebuild himself. That's the code. Comebacks aren't gifted. They're earned. Through fire, through blood, through repetition, through silence, through brutal honesty, through the decision to keep swinging when nothing makes sense, through the refusal to die quietly. So stop looking at your past like a prison. It's not your cage, it's your classroom. The worst thing that happened to you might just be the best thing that forged you. But only if you get back up, only if you move forward, only if you use it. You think you're too far gone? Think again. You're just getting started. This is not the end. This is the rebirth. This is the second version of you. The harder version. The version built through betrayal, through loss, through failure. And that version, that's the version that wins. That's the version the world fears. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not your scars. You are the man who kept going anyway. And that's rare. That's dangerous. That's what they don't expect. So don't announce it. Don't explain it. Just build, just rise, just return. And when the dust settles, let them feel the weight of the man who refused to stay down. Fall like a man. I rise like a legend. Pain doesn't break me. It rebuilds me. You want to change your life? Then change your rituals. Change what you do when no one's watching. Change how you show up when there's no fire, no crowd, no pressure. Because the beast isn't built in extremes. The beast is built in repetition, in structure, in silence, in waking up and doing the hard things over and over until they stop being hard. That's how Mike Tyson lived. Not in chaos, in control, not in emotion, in ritual. When Tyson was at his peak, he trained 3 times a day, woke up before the sun, ran in the cold, ate the same food, threw the same punches, watched the same tapes, every single day. Why? Because champions don't need variety, they need results. And results come from systems, not moods. From decisions, not feelings. That's the discipline you're lacking. That's the identity you need. You think you're tired? Tyson trained. When he was sore, sick, broken. Because the ritual doesn't care how you feel. The ritual is sacred. It doesn't ask permission. It commands performance. You don't feel like showing up? Too bad. The ritual doesn't wait. You're distracted? Too bad. The ritual demands full attention. You failed yesterday? Good. Show up again. That's the code. You want mental toughness? Then build rituals that eliminate doubt. Wake up early, not to impress anyone, but to own the day before it owns you. Train your body, not for the mirror, but for war. Sit in silence, not to relax, but to listen to the voice inside. The one that says, keep going. The one that doesn't lie. Write your goals. Visualize the win. Speak it, see it, feel it, then do the work, daily, with zero compromise. This is not about motivation, it's about programming. Repetition is reprogramming. Every time you show up, you send a signal. This is who I am now. Every time you follow through, you etch a new identity into your brain. That's how you kill the old you. Through action. Through systems. Through ritual. You think warriors wait to feel ready? No. They prepare so deeply that readiness becomes irrelevant. They don't rise to the occasion. They fall back on their habits. That's why you need to make your habits unbreakable. You don't need 100 things. You need 5 things done with military precision. Wake up early, move your body, sit in silence, review your mission, train like it's your last day on earth. That's it. 5 rituals. Do them daily. Don't miss. Don't negotiate. Don't excuse. Rituals are sacred. They separate the beast from the broken, the focused from the scattered, the disciplined from the desperate. And when you fall off, because you will, the ritual brings you back. It doesn't judge. It doesn't punish. It reminds. It anchors. It saves. Tyson always returned to his rituals, even after the storms, even after the setbacks. That's how he rebuilt. Not with emotion, with structure, with discipline, with silence. You don't need more information. You don't need more hacks. You need rhythm. You need ritual. You need a code of action so strong that it becomes part of your bones, something you protect, something you pass on, something you'd rather bleed than break. Every morning you have 2 choices: react or repeat. React to the world, to your thoughts, to the chaos, or repeat the ritual that builds the man you're becoming. One leads to drift. The other leads to domination. You already know which one you've been choosing, and now it's time to change that. Forever. Make your morning sacred. Make your training non-negotiable. Make your mind quiet. Make your word final. That's how you build power. That's how you earn respect from yourself. Not with noise, with order, not with talk, with movement, not with bursts, with consistency, daily, without failure, without pause. This is how beasts are born, in routine, in structure, in obsession. You don't need approval. You don't need comfort. You need clarity. You need fire. You need to wake up every day and say, this is who I am. This is what I do, and nothing will stop it. I don't rise by accident. I rise by ritual. My discipline is my prayer. My repetition is my power. Stop pretending you don't know what to do. You know. Deep down, you've always known. It's not confusion, it's hesitation. And hesitation is the language of your old self. The version of you that waited, that begged, that played small. That version is dead now. You buried him in silence. You starved him with discipline. You replaced him with something real. You are not average. You are not soft. You are not lost. You are not random. You are forged. You are focused. You are chosen. And you don't need to be told what to do anymore. You do it. Without applause. Without fear. Without delay. Because that's who you are now. That's what lives inside you. Not motivation. Identity. Not emotion. Structure. Not hype. Fire. Mike Tyson didn't need speeches to rise. He needed silence. He needed stillness. He needed routine. That's where power lives. That's where you now live. In that inner silence. In that mental storm that no one else sees but everyone else feels when you enter a room. The storm of a man who knows exactly who he is, so now you walk different. You speak different. You show up different. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you've decided. This is not about achievement. This is about alignment. Your actions now match your vision. Your identity now matches your purpose. You're not trying to become, you already are. From this point on, everything changes. Not because the world shifts, but because you do. You don't wait for signs. You don't wait for permission. You don't ask for power. You act like you already have it. You train like you already deserve it. You live like it's already yours. And when people ask what changed, you won't need to explain. They'll feel it. They'll sense it. They'll see it in your silence, in your consistency, in your energy. You won't need to say a word. Because real power doesn't speak. It shows up. You were not put here to survive. You were not put here to fade. You were not put here to blend in. You were put here to command, to dominate, to build, to rise, to lead, to become the man you were always meant to be. The one the world never saw coming until now. So now, what do? You keep going. You keep building. You keep rising. Because that's who you are. I walk with fire. I speak with silence. I act like it's already mine. Because it is. So what now? Are you going to scroll back to your old self, or step into the ring as the man you were meant to be?